I do want to spend more time on the economy because it affects every single one of us. So Harry Hutchison, Director of Policy. Harry, new job numbers came out today. They were released. The Biden team, of course, is touting this as wonderful news, but the truth behind the numbers isn't so great.
Absolutely. So it's clear beyond question that the unemployment rate rose slightly. So there's not much to cheer about there. Number two, the evidence shows that average wages adjusted for inflation have actually fallen. So there's not good news there. And thirdly, we should keep in mind that the Federal Reserve is preparing to raise interest rates again. That means mortgage costs should likely rise. And lastly, President Biden has issued a new budget proposal. And essentially, the budget proposal consists of an increase in income tax rates, federal capital gains tax rates, Obamacare rates, that's the Affordable Care Act, the tax rate on stock sales, property up, corporate tax rates up, taxes on fossil fuel companies up, which should drive up energy costs. So I think the Biden administration will term or claim that this proposal is simply a tax on the rich. But as people pay those taxes, that means they have less money to purchase goods and services. This affects everyone.
People try to say, okay, how do we get back?
Like, how does it ever even out?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't feel like that's the way our
No,
government
because
works.
even when they increase taxes, like on the 25% minimum tax on the richest in America, it still doesn't balance out the budget. I think even there, under the best estimate, it cuts $3 billion out of the national debt.
I think that is correct. And one of the things that the Biden administration fails to understand is that with respect to some of these proposed tax increases, those tax revenues associated with those tax rate increases are optional. Why is it optional? Well, you can defer selling property. You can defer selling stocks. So the projected revenue often does not match the actual revenue that comes in. And so at the end of the day, middle-income people, working-class people are often hurt by tax increases, even if these tax increases are allegedly aimed at the rich. But I go back to the reduction, if you will, in tax credits that they are making available for fossil fuel companies. This means they are paying more taxes if they're making money. But of course, one of the ways of adjusting for a tax increase is to raise the prices at the pump. So I think at the end of the day, it's important to keep in mind that the cultural elites, our cultural overlords in Washington, they don't really understand economics, but the Biden proposal is probably dead on arrival in Congress. That is the good news.
You know, when we talk about all these economic issues, Harry, as well, I mean, people really just want to know, are we going to see continued interest rate hikes, and is there any end in sight? I mean, some people have talked about 10% as maybe the end in sight. That seems pretty catastrophic to a lot of people.
I think you're right. I think my basic guesstimate is between 8 and 9%. Keep in mind that interest rate increases by the Federal Reserve, they don't have that much of an impact on the economy until about a 6 to 9 month lag time. So the Federal Reserve has announced this week that they intend to remain aggressive with respect to interest rate rises. And so one of the things that Americans should keep in mind is that that means their mortgage rates will rise. And some Americans have adjustable rate mortgages. And so even if they are not buying a new house, or even if they're not refinancing,
Buying a new house.
Absolutely.
Because your mortgage payment could have doubled. I mean, a lot of times right now, whatever mortgage you're getting is on the same price houses, it could be near double what you're paying monthly.